Before we see his debut in Spider-Man Brand New Day, we actually got to see him in his one last kill. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's me, Dear Kid Review, back again with another video. So we have our first trailer for The Punisher, One Last Kill, which is a Marvel one-shot and also special presentation. It takes place after the events of Daredevil Born Again Season 1, but also kind of fills in the gaps of where Frank is in the middle of Season 2, because I feel like with these past couple episodes, it's always been a discussion of, oh, Daredevil's out there fighting the task force, but also they keep mentioning Frank, like, have you seen Frank? Or you're just like Frank? The world could use Frank right now, where I'm like, yeah, but where is he in all this? Because weirdly, this season takes place a year after season one. But I'm like, okay, but in that time, you're telling me that the Punisher's been locked down for a year, not come into communication with anybody, and the fact that they're in his bunker tells me, yeah, where is he? But let me just say, it's kind of funny how now the Netflix characters, or in this case, the Netflix era of Marvel, is actually getting a little bit more recognition. Like, I remember at the time when it was whole, oh, the MCU is coming to Netflix, but it actually introduced a couple characters where I'm like, okay, I know Daredevil, I know Luke Cage, I know the Punisher, I know Jessica Jones, kind of, when she was Jewel. I even got Iron Fisted once in a while watching it, so I'm like, I don't even know.
What do you mean by that?
And when they all got canceled one by one, I was like, so you're gonna kill off this whole section down here of street level heroes, which Daredevil I didn't understand was the one to be canceled in its best season yet. I was like, so you're gonna cancel Daredevil, but the Punisher, is that gonna keep going? Oh no, you just canceled that one too. All right, fine. To me, bringing back the Netflix heroes into the MCU now is the benefit of actually trying to use your street level characters and seeing as though, yeah, fans love these guys, and if you were to reboot them or reintroduce them in a way, let them actually be the characters that translate here, because they already have the backstory. We don't need to do another reintroduction again. If you want to know anything about these characters, you could actually watch the shows they're coming from. And when you see them now, it's like, yeah, we have years of development. And for some upcoming, I want to say spoilers in this case, for Daredevil, there's some other characters that are actually might possibly be introduced into the MCU now. But going back to the Punisher and bringing back characters, it's kind of funny that also I thought, oh, this is his own John Pertwee special where it's just going to be the Punisher going on one last mission or one last thing to actually get over his family. But also, it feels like just because it's one last kill tells me who else is there? Because if I'm looking back on the seasons, like season one and two, we actually kind of finished that story off. But bringing it up now for like one final kill, I can just say, okay, this would have been cool if we got in a season in the midst of this whole thing going on, but yeah, one special is fine enough. Even bringing back Curtis from the show, because I feel like, oh, he understood Frank Castle the most, and funny enough, he was one of those characters I was wondering would actually survive season two in a way where I'm like, yeah, Billy Russo was out being a maniac in this case in season one, and season two was one of those, okay, I'm not even sure if I'm a bad guy, but in this case, I'm looking at Frank Castle as the villain, and that whole thing of, oh, I'm trying to slowly remember the past, but also I kind of see him as my main threat, technically bringing back the whole rivalry. Who knows what season three could have been, but also funny enough, it's kind of funny, but I want to say funny that they're calling this one last kill, even though we kind of do see him in Spider Man, where it's like, yeah, the only difference I'm seeing here is that he actually got a shave and he actually gets the new skull chest. And Marvel once again embracing the maturity of these characters and actually having this be a full R-rated special, where I'm like, yeah, we're gonna actually see old school Punisher, but also I wouldn't say hardcore, because I feel like, yeah, in his show it got a bit more bloody, but I don't even know how far they can actually push it for this series, because I feel like even though we have an MCU style budget now with these series, I feel like if they actually want to pull this to the extreme, we'll see how they can do it. But I feel like it's not gonna top the Netflix style, because that's how it was so unique in a way where I'm like, yeah, all the gore, all the violence, everything was more downscaled in hands-on-hand combat, but nothing's gonna beat out that shootout in season one, because I feel like the whole thing with just him going around Micro's warehouse and actually fighting those guys off, that was just top tier Punisher scene for me. Well, in that case, let's just get to the trailer. Three, two, one.
Hey Frank, how you doing, brother? Talk to me.
Damn.
Tell me what's going on. What's going on?
Or are these delusions?
Think God's gonna forgive us for the things we've done? I'm not sure about me. But you
Gas. Yup.
ain't got a fucking chance.
Hmm.
That's all you got? That's all you got?
Oh. Unlike the other Marvel presentations, I'm surprised this one actually looks decent enough to where it's like, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing this in a theater. Like, if you really think about it, we got Daredevil on this TV side. We could have actually had a Punisher movie in theaters and then let that be the setup to Spider Man as he's going to join on to that movie also. But I'm like, you know what? If this is going to be like an hour or something long and just on Disney Plus, a little more extra cash would have actually put it on the big screen. And it's moments like this where I like to call out where are the heroes around the area, like one web swinger specifically that should be around here in New York. But who am I kidding? I'm not about to put out some Spider-Man slander out there. But based on the way this trailer looks and feels, I feel like as though, yeah, it's called One Last Kill, but it tells me that some of the other characters I thought would be returning, like Curtis, he's not really appearing in this. He is technically, but it's one of those PTSD moments I feel like Frank is having, seeing as though, oh, I'm out of the fight, but once again, I'm pulled back in for some reason. I'm out of the fight, but I'm pulled back in. It's been a recurring thing with the Punisher in the series lately, but it's one of those, well, if it's a good story, well, we'll see how this goes because we've seen him retire and bring back the mantle of the Punisher before. And seeing as though where we last left him in Daredevil, he doesn't even wear the skull emblem anymore, where in this case, oh, all the anti-vigilante task force actually wear it in honor of him. And in this season, weirdly, they don't have that same chest emblem, but they actually has like a pin. It has a skull, but I'm not even sure it's supposed to be like a reference, or in this case, like, we can't do that anymore since we don't idolize the Punisher. We have to make it like this. To me, this one feels a little bit more downscaled compared to the previous series because instead of having big overarching villains around the whole story and Frank being hunted by the government, it's kind of funny in this case where I'm like, yeah, everybody knows who he is at this point, and seeing all these being pulled back to the fight for one last job where, oh, this is the last connection I have to the people who killed my family, and seeing as though I kind of did hear that one of the main villains is Benucci, but I'm like, Ganucci? You mean I won't even say one of the weirdest Punisher villains in this case, where it's just a handicapped woman, but she doesn't have any arms or legs. But I'm like, introducing something like that for the MCU now, I wonder if they could actually try and make that work because I feel like as though if we were back on Netflix, that feels like it would have been a good idea for a season three. The way they actually brought back Billy Russo, where in this case, instead of Jigsaw looking like Jigsaw, he actually got his face all regular plastic surgery fixed up. Where I'm like, I wouldn't mind the scars, but then again, it's like he's a villain. If you were to actually fix up a bad person, I wouldn't do that much of a good job in fixing it up. Last thing, because I don't want to forget about it, because I really feel like anytime I mention something like this, it's just one of those last minute thoughts I get after I talk about a thing. But when they put out the poster for this thing, where you see the whole black and white image of Frank Castle, it kind of reminds me of the actual poster for Logan, where I'm like, one last job, one last ride. Yeah, if only we actually thought that was final. All right, guys, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. All my social media is down in the description below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.